Hey there. Welcome back to Life Noggin. Today, we're diving into the topic of plastic recycling. But even for the stuff that is, recycling isn't always easy or financially feasible. You've probably seen the recycling arrows on plastic products, but just because you see them doesn't mean those items will definitely be recycled. In fact, many items bearing the recycling symbol won't actually be recycled in your area unless you live in a place with advanced recycling capabilities. It depends on a number of factors, including the type of plastic, local market prices, and government policies. For example, PET bottles are generally easier and cheaper to recycle than other types of plastic. Now you know that while recycling is crucial in managing plastic waste, it's not a silver bullet solution. To tackle plastic pollution effectively, we need a combination of reducing plastic use, reusing items whenever possible, recycling responsibly, and holding producers accountable for creating recyclable and sustainable packaging. If you liked learning these facts about plastic recycling, hit that like button and share this video with someone who might not know these things. By spreading awareness, we can all contribute to a cleaner, greener future. Thank you for watching. The cost of recycling also varies by location based on factors like available infrastructure and local waste management practices. Additionally, government policies and incentives play a role. Some places offer tax breaks or subsidies for recycled materials, which can make them more cost-effective. But here's the thing, the price of virgin plastic, that's the new stuff produced from fossil fuels, has historically been quite low thanks to abundant supplies of oil and natural gas. This has led to a situation where in some cases, producing new plastic is cheaper than recycling it. On top of that, there are external costs associated with both producing plastic and recycling it. Producing new plastic releases greenhouse gases and other pollutants into the environment. These costs aren't always factored into the price of the plastic itself, meaning the true cost of virgin plastic is higher than the number on the receipt. Similarly, recycling involves energy-intensive processes like heating and melting plastic, which also emit greenhouse gases. Considering all these factors, whether recycling saves money depends on the specific circumstances. Recycling programs vary widely in what they can handle. Your local facility may be equipped to sort through. As mentioned earlier, not all plastic is easy to recycle, and some types, like plastic films and multi-layer plastics, are notorious for being difficult to handle during the recycling process. These materials present challenges at various stages, from collection and sorting to melting and reshaping. Take plastic films like grocery bags and wraps. They're lightweight, which makes them tough to collect and sort since they easily get carried away by wind or mixed in with other waste. Multi-layer plastics used for things like chip bags and candy wrappers are challenging to recycle because they consist of different layers of materials that are hard to separate during the recycling process. Each of these issues adds complexity and cost, making it less appealing for recycling companies to handle these materials. Consequently, plastic that isn't easy to recycle often ends up in landfills or incinerated, even if it's technically recyclable, and process only a few types of plastic, while others might take much more. According to the EPA, most recycling plants in the U.S. can handle PET and ADP bottles, but less common types like PP and polystyrene are harder to come by. This means that a product with a recycling symbol made from a common plastic like PET might not actually be recycled if you don't live near an advanced recycling facility. Additionally, curbside recycling programs, which are the ones where you put your recyclables in bins outside your house, usually have even stricter rules than larger facilities. They might only accept number 1 and number 2 plastics, meaning that anything beyond PET and ADP won't be picked up. It is essential to know what your local facility accepts and to check for any additional guidelines they might have. For instance, some may require that you rinse out your containers to remove food residue. The bottom line, just because something has the recycling symbol doesn't mean it'll be recycled. Do your research or contact your local recycling center to find out. The process requires collecting, sorting, cleaning, melting, reshaping, and reprocessing plastic waste. First, not all plastic is created equal. Some types are tougher to recycle than others. For example, plastic films like grocery bags and wraps are often discarded after a single use and are difficult to collect and recycle. And items made from multiple types of plastic, like multi-pack rings, pose challenges for sorting and processing. Second, not all plastic waste ends up being recycled. Some gets lost in landfills or the environment. This could be due to improper disposal, contamination, or simply the inability to collect and sort through all the plastic waste generated. Third, even when plastic is recycled, the process isn't perfect. Some materials degrade during recycling, meaning the quality of the recycled plastic decreases over time. Fourth, recycling facilities are not equally accessible everywhere. Some communities lack the infrastructure or resources for effective recycling programs, making it harder for people in those areas to recycle properly. Finally, there's the issue of illegal dumping. People sometimes dispose of hazardous waste, including electronic waste, in regular trash bins, contaminating the recycling stream. And not all types of plastic are suited for this journey. When we talk about plastic recycling, we're usually referring to thermoplastic, which can be melted down and reshaped repeatedly without degrading in quality. These include PET or peat polyethylene terephthalate, commonly used for soda bottles, water bottles, and clothing fibers. ADP high-density polyethylene found in milk cartons, shampoo bottles, and pipes. PVC polyvinyl chloride used in window frames, flooring, and pipes. LP low-density polyethylene for plastic bags, shrink wrap, and food containers. PP polypropylene seen in bottle caps, straws, yogurt containers, and more. PS polystyrene used in disposable plates, cups, straws, and packing peanuts. And other plastics like polycarbonate and styrofoam. However, not all plastic is made of these materials, and not all items made from these materials are easily recyclable. For example, plastic films like grocery bags and wraps, although technically recyclable, often end up in landfills because they're too lightweight to be collected efficiently and contaminate recycling streams. Similarly, multi-layer plastics used for chip bags and candy wrappers contain different layers of materials that are challenging to separate during recycling. Then there's the problem of plastic products that are designed to be single-use, like straws and cutlery. Even if they are made from recyclable materials, they often go straight to landfills because they aren't large enough to be collected and sorted by recycling facilities. And finally, there's the issue of mixed plastic waste. When different types of plastics are combined, it creates a contaminated batch that's hard to recycle. This means that plastic products with multiple parts made of different materials, such as water bottles with plastic caps and rings, can't be fully recycled. The parts need to be separated before recycling, which adds complexity and cost, which may make the entire process uneconomical. Not to mention that plastic that has been used for a long time and has accumulated dirt or residue can't be recycled either. This includes things like milk cartons that have leaked or containers that have held oily foods. Basically, if you wouldn't eat something off of it, it's probably too dirty to be recycled. We've got a ton of questions about how recycling works and what happens to our plastic once we toss it in those big blue bins. So today, let's break down the facts and separate the myths from reality. Let's get started. Number 1. All plastic is recyclable. Some plastic is recyclable, some isn't. Number 2. Recycling symbols don't guarantee recycling. Number 3. Recycling solves plastic pollution completely. Recycling is great, but it's not a cure-all for plastic pollution. Here's why. Number 4. Recycling saves money. Recycling plastic can save money in some situations, but it's not always cheaper than producing new plastic. Number 5. Recycling plastic is always easy. So there you have it, some common myths and misconceptions about plastic recycling.